first of all, I want to thank you, number one, for allowing me to come into your home and sit with y'all and talk a little bit about your amazing career. One of the things that I want to make very, very clear is that in my estimation, and I was telling Denise the other day, you're one of the most underrated entertainers in my estimation because of the longevity, the hits, the places you've been, the endurance to be in this crazy business for 40-something years,
Yes. Yeah.
4 decades. I don't know how you do it. And the fact that you are blood sisters is amazing. It's amazing where you come from and where you're at today. Holding up the legacy of the group SKYY, but now you are, and have been for a very long time, the ladies of SKYY. So what I first like to ask is, how's everybody doing?
Wow. I think, in light of everything that's going on right now, we are doing really, really well. I mean, we've had so many tragic reports from other people's families, and we're just so very blessed and grateful at the fact that health-wise, because that's the main thing everybody cares about right now. How is your health? How are you staying safe? Is your family okay? Right. So we gratefully and thankfully, to the Lord God up above, are very, very pleased to say that we all in one piece.
That's good. That's good. It's good. It's good to hear that.
It's not so much just the physical, but a lot of people I hear are going through a mental breakdown.
Yes.
Almost to the point of depression because of, I don't consider it quarantine, because quarantine is a really strong word, that has a lot to do with really being ill. Those who are really ill, yes, they are quarantined. But for, those of us who are not ill, that staying safe in your home, and only going places, where it's essential. A lot of people are not even doing that.
Right.
And so I've heard a lot of people talk about their mental state, is being depleted. And so it's not just the physical, but we're fortunate that we are not mentally depressed.
Right. Because, go ahead, Dolores.
People who especially live by themselves.
Yes.
And when you have a husband and wife situation, or if you have a mother and her children, or you have a father and their children or siblings, it's different. I live by myself, and all I have is my cat. Who's not very friendly.
And he's mean. He's so mean.
He's not very friendly at all. And he sleeps all day. But I tend to, I talk to my sisters during the day. I text message my daughter. I'll go outside. I go sit in the car. I take a ride. So even when you're by yourself at home, you still need to have a level of, what can a connection some kind of way. You pray, you sing, I watch, like every once in a while I'll get up from my desk and I'll go do something. I'll go outside, I walk around the block. But you have to, especially when you're by yourself, do something that makes you happy. Take yourself to a place where it's going to be okay for you. Work out, do something. I got my hula hoop. I go outside in the backyard and I'll do something like that.
Okay.
So you have to move. You have to keep yourself active. You have to keep yourself mentally active, and don't sit at that desk all day staring at the computer when there's really nothing to do. You know what I mean? Get up.
Absolutely.
Environment change. Go have something to eat. Just like do something so that you're not feeling so necessarily alone.
All right. Now, another question. What would you say to the young people, our younger generation, that's actually may have taken this for granted, may not even think that it's related to them, and they're walking around and really, at some point in time, putting themselves in danger? What would you say to them?
Oh my goodness.
Get a grip.
Well, you get a grip. Start
Get
with
a
that.
mask.
Get a mask. Start with the mask.
That's right.
We're not even gonna say you must have gloves, but get a mask. You know what? I just find that young people today have no concept of mortality. Okay? If they've not experienced the loss of someone in their circle, then they don't understand that everybody's living day to day and anything can happen. Okay? So what does it require? I think it does require us as the elders or the parents have to really impress upon these young people that, life is fleeting. And what what's going on right now in terms of this disease, there's so many. They should watch the news and understand that there's so much that is unknown about this. This is not the flu.
Exactly.
This is not, a normal virus. This is not even pneumonia. Well, pneumonia is pretty bad, but this is not a cold
or hay fever.
It's not a common everyday occurrence. The people, the so-called scientists and specialists, don't even know what this is. So
that's right. That's true. Facts.
Use our brains, and you have to say, I have two boys, 18 and 20. And do you have your mask? Do you have your mask? Do you have the mask on? Is that mask on your face? Do you have it in your pocket? So he has the mask, and then he has the other thing on top. But then he needs to turn around to his peers and say, yo, man, make sure you have a mask. Now, a lot of that depends on whether the mask is available to you, because some people just don't have it, in certain segments of the neighborhood. Well, it's not as available.
You know what? And that is not really true, because I have gone on every dollar store, every bodega has masks in that store. Now, is that where they're hanging out in front of? Yes. So go in the store.
But they don't see the importance of it.
And they don't see the importance.
They don't see the importance. They don't think it's going to happen to them. Because in the beginning,
right,
black people were saying, hey, it ain't affecting us.
Now, that was my next question. Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Where did that come from?
Because I think that is because of where they said it was originating from.
Right.
And so I think that's where black people came underneath the assumption that it had nothing to do with us. But when you're talking about the young people, and I think what it has to do with it's not just that they think it's not going to happen to them. They are looking at adults who are not wearing masks,
okay,
who are not social distancing. I mean, I can go through the streets of Jersey City and I can count the adults that have on masks.
Right, and some people think that it's violating their right to do what they want, to do what they want to do for themselves. It's like it's not about you.
Right.
Somebody else.
True
indeed. And I also want to say in the beginning, see, now they've studied this thing by the numbers, so to speak.
Right.
And so more information is now starting to come out about the fact, the numbers of people that are actually being affected by it and how quickly it's spreading, So I would think that a person of reasonable intelligence, I'm not saying you got to be even high on the scale, but of reasonable intelligence and who has been affected, like we have, with people that we know, relatives of people that we know. I know at least 4 people who have lost siblings.
Wow.
And so every time I hear that, I'm shaken by that, and that makes me even more aware and saying, wow, this thing could knock on my door at any time. So I would just encourage young people and parents, and parents to just stay after those kids, as adults. Like you said, Bonnie, I've seen 4 and 5 guys walking down the street.
Oh yeah.
They'll even move them out the way so they can smoke a cigarette.
But at least they have a mask.
They started out with one.
They got a mask.
That's right. You know what's so funny, right? You hear these conspiracy theories, right? And it's always people of color, us, that are affected by all of these multiple diseases, diabetes, high blood pressure. Everything affects us. So then why would someone believe that a virus is not going to affect you? And then people say, well, you know what? They put it out there because they want to kill black people. But yet still you turn around and you think that you can't get it. It doesn't add up to me. It doesn't add up to me.
That's a good one.
I just had an Uber driver that said the same thing to me last week. And I said to him, it's killing everybody.
Right.
It does. It's not
and blacks
killing black people, but he's saying it was made just to kill black people. He said it's killing everything.
I think it got out of hand. See, this is what
Here we go.
I'm just saying, based upon what I've read. I'm not an expert, and I can only go based upon what I've read. But this particular thing is so in
Yes, it is.
that they can't get a handle on.
No.
Right.
And why is that? That stuff doesn't just come out, doesn't just sprout out of the ground.
That's
The
right.
things that sprout out of the ground are for our benefit health wise. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? But
Right.
this particular thing is so insidious that I think they was tooling around with something, and they
Mm.
and they it just got out of hand. It
Just
got
got out of
away,
hand.
you know. And yeah, and it just goes back to the fact, that man sometimes can't direct his own steps. We've heard that from the Bible. It does
Absolutely.
not belong to man who is walking to direct his own steps. This is a classic example of that right now, because
Wow.
they can't rein it back in. So
Wow.
what do? We have to act. Use what did Daddy used to say? Use judgment of a sound
Sound
mind.
mind.
Ah, I like that. I like that.
Yes, that was our dad's favorite
Yep.
line. And this
Okay.
comes from a man who didn't have a higher education. He was a
Mhm.
Southerner. He grew up in South Carolina on a farm. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Eighth
Okay.
grade
But
education.
he had some
Yep.
You
common
know?
sense.
Say that
He
again.
had some common sense, though.
Yeah,
Oh,
common
sense.
Yes, we
My
were
mother, my
raised
mother used
by.
to always talk about that common sense.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, you have nothing.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't speak to everyone.
Right. True. Oh, that's absolutely true.
Oh yeah, that's what mom always said.
Right.
Common sense.
That was
don't talk to
our
everybody.
mom's favorite line.
That's
Common
right.
sense
That's right.
does not speak to everyone.
That's right. So now listen, let me ask you this. You're going through this. We're all going through this isolation, this whole crazy thing right here, right? As entertainers, what's the effect on you as entertainers? Now, I know that you ladies are, you do other
We're not going to
things.
start it.
But please, we want to hear about that, because you know what? There's a lot of people
Man.
that just depend on this, and they are
Oh.
suffering right now.
Okay.
Right.
You have no other
We're
alternative.
fortunate.
Right.
We're,
So I like
we're
to
very
speak to that.
I'm going to tell you, we
Go
are
ahead.
very fortunate. I mean, this was going to be really a monumental year for us. With
Wow.
the Unsung coming out,
Yes.
and we were booked, and did I say we were booked?
You were booked.
And then we were booked,
All right.
and then we were booked.
Yeah.
All right.
And so we came in right at the time when everything shut down.
Wow.
We had a gig in California with the Barcades in Lakeside. We went out there, landed, gig canceled.
The moment we
The
got
moment we got
that was
there.
March 13th.
That was March 13th.
Wow.
Supposed to go to Paris
On April
on April
2nd.
1st,
Uh-huh.
canceled. So, and then we have other stuff that is
Yeah,
supposed
that
to
was
be
booked
coming
April.
up, and we know canceled.
Cancel.
But we have been fortunate that that is not our sole income, and what we have to rely on. You know what I'm saying? I'm retired, so I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I've all throughout even our entire musical
life.
career,
We
Dolores and I have always had
A
day
day
jobs.
job.
Me too.
All right. Ain't nothing
We
wrong with that.
always-
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That's smart.
Always
Oh,
had a
well,
day job.
we had skills.
That's
I'm a
right.
legal secretary. Dolores was a legal secretary. Bonnie was a legal secretary.
That's right.
Okay. Okay.
We've
We've
had
always worked.
that to fall back on. During our heyday, even
That's right.
we would go out on the road. Back then, it was the mighty temp job.
Right. Come
Wow.
back.
We'd go out on the road. We'd come back,
Work
make a phone call,
Work
and
temp.
go work temp.
For a couple of weeks, and then we had to go back. We was out.
Right. Then the year that we had our biggest hit in '82 with Call Me, and we were on tour for 13 months straight.
Wow.
With
Wow.
Kool and the Gang.
Cool in the gang.
We
Okay.
were smart enough, and this may be a tip for some artists out there. We were smart enough that we always paid salaries. We didn't just say, "Oh, we made $50,000. Let's split it 8
Split
ways."
it up.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
We created a corporation.
Right.
We paid salaries. We took out for Medicare. We took out
Really
for
smart.
Yes,
Excellent.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Excellent.
yes. We paid into unemployment.
Okay.
Social Security.
Okay.
And even when
We made, because we
We
set
made
it up
it
as a
set up,
corporation,
that's
and it
how-
wasn't just go out,
Yeah.
split the money,
yeah.
and
Be done
and be done with it.
Yeah.
So that is something I think that maybe artists may take a closer look at, so that you can save some money. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Have some
Right.
money squirreled away for the benefits. So after we came off that tour in '82, we collected unemployment for a year.
Exactly.
Wow.
After that,
Wow, that's
it
smart.
had been set up that way.
right,
It made sense.
right.
That
But
makes sense.
again, we always had that day job.
Mama said, always learn how to type, and you'll always have a job.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, are we hurting because we're not performing? And I think it's not necessarily just the money,
right.
that we're missing out on.
Right.
We are missing out. I think it's hurting us the most is missing out on performing.
Yeah.
Right.
Not so much the money. I'm not saying that.
Right. Of course.
The money's
Of
not
course. It's important.
The
It's
money
important.
is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Right. That's right. It's
But
important.
it's the performing. The three of us love to perform. And so that is what we really miss during this time is the performance. Do we feel really bad for our fellow artists who don't have anything to fall back on?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You know, and I know there were some organizations that were giving money to those type of artists. That's all they do, independent artists. And I mean, I constantly shared the link for them to go on to try to see if they could get some help. And we do feel bad for those who don't have what we have and can't sustain themselves.
Right.
They look for that performance money.
Yeah.
As their,
right.
So my question now is, what do they do? What do they do at this point? Because this now moves towards where's this going? What do they do now in this present?
And sadly, because again, this thing is so uncertain, the prospects for the future are looking a little bleak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is everybody's now moving into social media options now, technological options. Some of them have it together more than others. We still shall remain nameless.
Trial and error.
Well, there you go, Jimmy.
We won't go into all that, but they're gonna get it together.
Right.
Yeah. See now, I have a good friend. Her name is Coach Lalisa Williams, and she just did a podcast the other day. What do you do now? And I had to sit and listen to this sister because first of all, I love her. She's very smart. But she said, now is the time for you to reinvent yourself or reinvent what you do and find things that you're interested in. She was leaning more toward an academic side because she's going for her doctorate. So, and she's an educator. She works at Hudson Community College. So one of the things she was talking about was individuals like getting a certification, maybe in real estate. Start thinking what is it that you like to do, and go ahead and educate, learn a new language. You never know where that's going to lead you. But then she was talking about on the flip side, she says, well, if you're sitting around and you can't think of anything else to do, then maybe you're a creative. And that's where the musicians, the artists, the songwriters, the producers come in, and now is the time for you to start taking advantage of the time you have.
Exactly.
Expand that aspect of what you're doing. So yes, using new social media options, and now larger companies are even making, opening up opportunities for artists to be able to be seen, in that way. Now, whether they figured out quite how to monetize it, you know what I mean? I think they're still working on that part of it. The bigger artists, of course, can go on and say, send me $1.
Right.
Everybody that's watching.
Right.
And they may make out, a little bit better. But the average artist now has to find that following,
new ways,
out there in social media.
One of the creative things that I think, positive things that comes at is naturally when you're home, you got a lot of time to think. That's number one.
Yeah.
And I think what most people should be doing is reflecting on their personal self, taking a self-inventory and figuring out where I've been, where I'm at, and where am I going. And somehow improving yourself as this kind of like, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's going to end because I don't know what's going to happen, but at least when you come out of this, you've come out a better person than you were when this thing started, because for me personally, I'm sitting down, I'm saying, wow, what can I do better? I'm not perfect. What did I do wrong? What can I correct? What can I change and better myself, which in turn betters my family, the people around me, my business, everything included. So I'm sitting here and I took a course in credit repair and I'm going through all these social media stuff. I've always been on. I've always been on the social media and I've always been on computers for like 15 years, right?
Right.
But I've learned some new things, and you're right. You talked about this new technology. Now I'm a promoter, so the first thing I'm saying is, if this stays like this, I have a passion just like you. You like to sing. I like to promote. I like to bring people together. I like to give good shows. So how do I do this? So we're talking about the virtual world. What I saw people do, some bad, like you said, some don't know what they're doing. Trial and error. We're not gonna make no names, but if it's done right, see the problem. Everybody wants to run out there and be the first one to do it. I used to be like that. I want to be the originator. No. Now I'm going to sit back and I want to do it right. See, I can wait. So I'm watching all the mistakes that are being made and let these other people make the mistakes, and then I'm going to capitalize on that, and I'm going to turn around and I'm going to do it right. Because I plan on doing some virtual stuff, but I want to do it professionally. And then you talk about monetizing it. The advantage for the artist is this, and even the bigger artists as well as the average artist, as you said. Your exposure, if it's done right, marketing, promotion-wise, will be all over the world. Not just in the theater or the venue that you're at, in whatever city you're at. Right. So if there's a way to get people to respond through the internet by hitting that one button and get them to pay, this will now open up the exposure for not only the internet stuff, when you can go back into the theaters. Imagine doing a show, and you're on a show with a couple of acts, and that show is in Manhattan, but it's also being broadcast in Germany, and you're getting money from that as well as being paid for this show that you're actually doing in person, because the people in Germany want to see you, but they can't come to New York to see you.
No, exactly.
So if there's going to be a way, and remember, I believe this, it's going to be a way to fuse both together even after this thing is over. That's really what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really believe that.
You're absolutely right, because someone, and I don't even remember who, was talking about a smaller venue in LA, and the name of the place escapes me. But they were saying that because it is such a small venue, they will more than likely not get the benefit of the reopenings because they're so small that they are not going to be able to social distance in a proper way. Right. Like, for example, this Korean baseball game that just went on. So they are leaving 3 seats between a group of people. And the front row, the row in front and the row behind is empty. So larger venues can pull that off.
Right.
But that was the suggestion that was made by someone that I saw. And they said, okay, so if you have a smaller venue, then what you do is bring the artists in and do that pay-per-view type of situation, because you've got a space, you've got a stage, you've got a sound system. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you just have to rethink how you're going to present what you've always been doing. And it's just going to take time for people to think about what that is.
But, I find something very interesting that I just read on the Google News feed yesterday, and they were talking about the same situation that we're talking about now. And the question was, when things do open up, per se, and events start happening, are the people going to be willing to show up?
I think initially, no. My thoughts
and that's
no.
what they were saying.
Yeah.
They said people are still going to be apprehensive unless they come up and then just all of a sudden say, there are no new cases, there's a vaccine, there's a cure, or what have you. There's going to be a lot of people that are still going to be apprehensive about showing up to a show. And so,
I'm sorry, but there are also going to be those people, like all of those people that were in Central Park with no mask, laying around in the grass, the people that are out there on the beaches in Fort Lauderdale, who think that nothing is going to touch them. Those are the people that's going to be out there saying, oh, yeah, let's go.
Right.
So, now, I mean, it's 61.5
True indeed.
Have the ones that are saying, yeah, maybe not. Let me just wait
Right,
another
let me
couple
just
of
wait.
days, 90
Yeah.
days, see what's going on.
Right.
But then there's also going to be these crazy people that's going to go running off into the night.
Right. Now, this question too. You as entertainers, when are you going to feel comfortable to go back out there?
Listen.
I saw the faces.
Wait,
Let me tell you.
You know who we're paying attention to, and I hate to say this, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Governor Cuomo gives the most concise,
yes, he does. I give him that.
sensible report about what is happening
and
what is going on and where it's headed. And I have found great comfort in listening to him. Of course, things aren't where they need to be.
Right.
But until Governor Cuomo, we're going to have to call.
Did he just call the Governor Cuomo?
Let me check with Governor Cuomo.
Yeah, he's on it. He's on it heavy.
But again, from our perspective, so we're going to be invited not just to local venues,
right?
People are going to want us in LA.
That's
people
right.
want us in Georgia.
That's right.
So now is it safe to get on a plane? You know what I mean? Interestingly, when we went to California, remember the nice woman that helped us check our bags?
Yeah.
And I said to her, if this thing was just starting, right?
Just starting.
And I said to her, if we had our wipes, we had our masks,
Lysol.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We had her daughter calling us every 5 minutes.
Oh my God.
But she said she says you're okay in the airport. I said, do we need to, what's the mask?
Because there was a very few people actually in the airport.
That's right. A lot of people had canceled flights. A lot of people had canceled even on the flight we were on, right? But she said to me, she says, walking around, you're okay. She said, but when you get on that plane, put that mask on.
Okay.
Circulated air.
Right.
And so I was just like, what?
I know you was.
On with the mask.
I was the only one that didn't have the mask on because I have allergies. Well, and I am telling you, it is so hard. I mean,
to breathe with that.
Right, because not everybody is comfortable with it. And that's one of the issues.
I do wear a mask. Like if I go to the grocery store or if I go to the pharmacy or what have you, I do wear a mask. But I tell you, when I walk out of there, I have to take it off. And I did read an article, and they said that was going to happen to people who have allergies.
Yes, and so people who have
allergies, people who have breathing problems, it's going to be very hard for them to deal with those masks. And I will be, if I'm inside and I'm amongst people, I have my mask on. But as soon as I get outside, I have to take it off. And it's not because I'm just being contrary, but that is the only way that I am able to breathe. And I see a lot of people do it because of the allergies.
So back to your question, we're not going.
I know that's right.
Actually, we really want to explore the virtual performance.
Okay.
Outside of things that I think we can feel comfortable with because we'll be basically among.
Right.
But we were like you said, it was a wait and see for us because I have had a lot of people say, "How come Ladies of SKYY not doing a virtual concert? How come Ladies of SKYY aren't doing such and such a thing?" And it's a big wait and see for us.
Right.
Would we love to get back on the stage in person, live with an audience? Of course we would. But I don't see things really happening until 2021.
Right.
That's right. It makes sense.
We've already had some major promoters who have booked us for this year. Already inform us that they're going to be looking more towards 2021.
Right. It makes sense. Now I'm gonna go all the way back. I'm gonna take the Dunning sisters back to Brooklyn. Right? And I'm talking about before SKYY, before Brass Construction. Before anything else you've ever done, what was it like for the three of you in Brooklyn coming up? Did you always sing? When did you start? When did you all know that you wanted to sing? How did that go down?
My goodness.
It was funny. We were just talking about that not too long ago. I mean, our mom and dad were big singers in the house,
Okay.
and on Saturdays was tour day. And
Oh, I
Daddy
know
would
about
put
that.
on, you know about that,
Oh, yeah.
would put on that hi-fi and put on those records, and whether it be 78s, 33s, or 45s,
Mm-hmm.
and we would be around the house singing and cleaning. And then we got to the point where we started singing in front of the mirror, and we were young, singing in front of the mirror in the projects. And Denise should take it away because she's got a great story about
Uh-oh.
us.
So my Aunt Sadie, who actually inspired me very much so to want to sing professionally because she was an opera singer. And she used to take me to all these concerts, and I saw Miss Adelaide. She was so beautiful, and she had that sparkly dress on. And I was like, I thought I was at Carnegie Hall, but I think I was at Brooklyn Academy of Music. But I thought I was at Carnegie. To me, it was Carnegie Hall. I read it actually in Jet Magazine that said Brooklyn Academy of Music. Okay. So, but that's not the point. The point is she inspired me, right? So me and my sisters, let me tell you, we would be in that house, and my Aunt Sadie had this big reel-to-reel tape recorder.
Big.
Huge. Big thing. And it had this microphone that weighed about 5 pounds. Yeah. Maybe 10.
Maybe wasn't that much.
Well, it felt like it. I'm gonna tell you why. We was doing function at the junction.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, I don't know where I got this swinging mic from, but I hit myself right in the mouth.
Wow.
And cracked my front.
Oh, wow. Really?
They kept singing. I don't know.
Right.
He was screaming. My father came running in the room like, "What's the matter? What's the matter? What's the matter?" He was like,
crack. But back to the point, we used to love to sing around that house all the time. Sometimes we'd be singing different songs, and my mother would make us go in our room because
we're singing 3 different songs at the same time.
Wow, really? That's funny. That's funny. So y'all really I mean, you go way back with this thing. When did it get serious? When did you say to yourselves, each of you, when did you say, you know what? I think we got something here. I think we could do this. I really think we could do this.
Well,
yeah, high school.
High school.
When they had, yes, we all went to the same high school, and even before Bonnie came to that high school, it was me and Denise and another female that we grew up with Deborah, Deborah James. And I think when I was a freshman, we sang. They had this talent show. So, and FDR was a new school. So it was only at the time when I got there, it was when Denise and I went there, it was freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
Freshmen, sophomores.
Freshmen, sophomores.
Right. When I started. I'm sorry, I'm a year ahead of her.
Right, because I was the only class that went through the first 4 years of that school.
Okay.
And so when we snuck Bonnie in to do the talent show because she was not even.
No, but at that time, when before I actually started singing with them, I used to play the clarinet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And the very first, I was a clarinet player. And the very first talent show that Denise Dolores and our girlfriend Deborah was in, I was sitting in the audience. And I was watching the 3 of them on stage. And I said, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And I stopped playing the clarinet. And the next year, they snuck me.
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know.
You learn something every day.
Les, you're really pulling it out of us.
Oh, I got some more now. Go ahead.
It was basically high school when we
high school. And the next year, I sang with them the next year.
And then we all sang in the chorus. So that was our formal training. So, and we had a most wonderful chorus teacher, Miss Lynn, who just really taught us really how to use our voices and really.
We were taught classical music.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Classical.
Nice.
And Hallelujah chorus and all that.
Yes.
But then remember, she did do that summer when all of us went to her house and we started singing Duke Ellington.
Yeah, we used to sing
thing, or they're doing some Fred Waring arrangement, a little more jazzy. Yes. But we almost had a record deal in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the leader of the band had connections at Motown. And after us doing all these talent shows at the high school
and winning
and
coming in first place,
and we actually had a band. Deborah's brothers were our band.
And Jimmy Smith.
And we you like Jimmy Smith.
And Deborah's boyfriend.
That's right. My bad. And we decided he wanted us to do a record deal. He wanted to get a record deal for us.
Mm-hmm.
He really thought we were great. And he came and had a conversation with our mother. And we were sitting there like, oh man, this is
it. This is it.
Sister Sledge was like our idol, So we're like, oh, we're gonna be the next Sister Sledge. And my mother said, no.
Really? She just said no.
Well, whoever it was, I know it was somebody we thought we were gonna be like. Anyway, Brenda and the Tabulations, you took it back.
Thank you.
Yeah, they was good. She was good.
Right, Patty LaBelle, the Bluebell. Okay, so we would have been that. But when she said no, it was the biggest shock to us, and we were so deflated.
Wow.
But let me tell you, my mother knew what she was talking about because we were real little girls. We were very innocent young girls, and in spite of Mr. Bergstein saying that he would chaperone us and, he would make sure that we got our schooling done and this and that and the third. My mother was always about protecting her girls.
That's right.
And she said, nope. When they get older, if that's what they want to do.
They get out of school, graduate.
They can do whatever they want, but not now.
So Mama knows best, right?
Yeah. And she knew exactly what she was talking about because we've been eaten alive.
Got you. Let me ask you this. Do you have any brothers? Any brothers in the family?
No.
That's it. Okay.
3 girls. We didn't have a boy in our family till she had her son.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know what? Another question. Now we're gonna dig a little deep. Now, between the three of y'all, who argues the most between each other? Who thinks they're the boss? Who's the quietest?
Well, I'm the daggone boss now.
I don't.
So you know what it is. I'm going to say that.
Bonnie's information central. You want to know something? Ask Bonnie because she's been on every Google and the third.
That's right.
She can tell you and without even looking at her phone because she's already looking.
People have called me all the time. I tell them I moonlight as a private investigator. I'm a private investigator. You know what it is? I think we all just have our moments.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because we all have strong personalities.
And about different things.
Right.
I personally try to always be the peacemaker. We can have an argument and it's easy for me to the next 5 minutes be done with it. That's just who I am. I'm like that with them. I'm like that with my husband. I'm like that with anybody. You say what you have to say. I say what I have to say, and I move on. Because life is too short.
Yes, it is.
To be holding on, and that was the one thing our mom and dad taught us. They didn't allow you to argue in that house.
No.
And you know what? It's the dynamic because it's 3 of us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if it's just 2 sisters, or if there's an even number, there's always the 2 over here and the 2 over there.
Right.
So it gets to be a little tricky when it's 3. Because what is it, Bonnie? It's tricky.
And then there's this ping pong wall.
That's
right.
Right. You know what you have to do? You have to realize that is just who that person is.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. That is just who they are. And either you learn how to deal with that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? Or you just keep stuff going. So we have learned to deal with how they are. We know that when Dolores gets annoyed, she's going to hang up the phone.
Immediately.
Or I'm like, okay, I'm going home.
Yes, over.
It's over.
Getting up notes. So we have her go on.
Yes,
Are you coming on?
Hope one.
So
Wanda, you want me to call you a cab?
She's the grudge.
I'm terrible. You hurt my feelings.
You have to give her a day.
Yeah,
give her a day.
Or you have to talk her down.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
You have to talk her down.
Gotcha.
So we've learned to deal.
I'm telling you. I'll say it again. Wanda, you said it. Say it again.
When we were teenagers, it was
different. Because everybody, you didn't know who you were.
Right, now that we are, and we've worked through this from our 40s to our 60s now. So it's been a 20-year run where we all had to understand, because there was a point in which they still treated me like I was a little girl. Because I'm the smallest one. They always felt like they needed to protect me.
Right.
No, it had nothing to trust me. It had nothing to do with her.
No, I did.
She did. She might have thought because she's a little girl. I promise you that wasn't my.
At any rate, we all had to learn how to deal with each other as women.
Right.
Okay. And me being them to being married, and I was always even in my teenage years the independent one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this because this is what I feel is cool for me right now. I'm sorry if you don't like it. And at the end of the day, if I've hurt your feelings later on, I will come and I will understand and apologize to you.
Right.
So, but me being the one that's like, okay, this is what's good for me right now, and that's just who I am.
Gotcha.
And so they learn to adjust to that and say, well, when Dolores says, okay, I'm going by, nobody tries to stop me. Nobody wants to talk about it. Say, okay, she needs a minute. She's gonna go.
And you know what?
And call me when you get home. And
Right.
I'll do that, and I'm good.
Right.
People are gonna send you a terse text.
And I stopped doing that because
you know what?
that's a back and forth word war.
I'd
rather not go through that. You know
But we've gotten so. Let me tell you something. At this stage of our lives,
Yes.
we really try to move in step with one another.
That's beautiful. That's what it should be.
There is such a power and a strength in that, and a benefit for us all the way around. Because there's nothing any of us wouldn't do for the other.
That's beautiful.
And because we are the matriarchs of this family. She has Bonnie has a son. I have a daughter. I have a granddaughter and a great grandson. Denise has our other boys, and it's like, and we are the ones that are going to move forward with this family.
That's right.
So it's about how we react and act and move as a cohesive, cohesive unit to make sure that we're the example that we need to set to be for our children and grandchildren,
Gotcha.
and nieces and nephews.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because my dad always said, one day all you'll have is each other, and this is what we have.
And this is
wow.
And because
here we are.
Isn't that the truth?
Right,
yeah, isn't that the truth? Here we are.
Children, we have to move the way Ben and Laverne would want us to go.
Gotcha.
Because we can sit. If we do something on the wall, I'm sure I can tell you right now, Mama will be sitting on my shoulder saying, "No, you know what she did with that."
We were taught well. We were raised. We were fortunate. Yeah. We came from a 2-parent home. We came from a father who went to work every day. We came to a mother who took care of her children, and a father who took care of us. And so we happened to be very, very fortunate that we were taught by two wonderful people on how to love one another.
Black love, huh? Just love in general, but black love. I like black love. That's good. Now, another question is this. In the course of your career, you're singing, right? Either of you, did you ever say, look, I'm done, I want to quit? No. Either one of you? Never?
No, never.
That's amazing.
No, okay. Because we have too much fun.
That's good. That's beautiful because you know how many groups. No, you know how many groups break up. You know how they break up.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why they break up because it's the business side of things. Yeah, most groups, believe you me, very few of them. If you look at most of these groups that have broke up, even sisters that have broke up, it's about
because of the money.
It's the money, the business. I think you got more than me. I don't think you gave me what I deserve.
That's right.
You trying to get out in front and be more out there than me.
Right.
See, we always had a good balance of that aspect of things. And don't get me wrong, we probably owed a penny or two, you know, in some fashion. But that was never the most important thing to us. Okay, we're very content with what we have. And so we're not gonna, make that seen us less at,
Oh yeah.
at gigs. Right. You know how we come in.
Oh yeah.
We coming hard.
No doubt. We work together a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, we have our little crew with us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Are you there? Okay,
Yeah.
I see you. All right. Now,
You're off.
can you see me? We good? Okay. The other thing is, the other thing is this. As entertainers, you've been spanning what 4 decades now? Is that it?
Yeah, about that.
What was the biggest? Well, I'm quite sure there was a lot of excitement and different things, but if you had to name one thing that really was the highlight of your career, what would it be? Individually, a place that you went, a person you met, a show you did. If you had to put your finger on one thing, and I know that's hard, what would be that thing?
Not really, though. I would have to say the biggest moment and for me was doing a big arena,
Mm-hmm.
really big arena. It was us, Luther Vandross,
Ah, okay.
Aretha Franklin,
Wow. Yes.
and Stevie Wonder.
Oh, cream of the crop. You can't get no bigger than that.
Yeah, Luther was. And to be, and we were tired because we were just working and working and working and working, and we were so tired that we was going to see Stevie Wonder.
Mm.
No matter what, because who works?
I think Aretha Franklin was on that show.
I said Aretha.
Oh, okay.
I said Aretha.
But I don't think it was Luther. I think it was Luther Ingram that was on that show.
And I am telling you, it was the moment to hear Stevie Wonder have 100,000 people singing in harmony.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were the opening act.
Right.
Yeah.
Be clear that we were on at noon and Stevie came on at 8:30.
And because it was a big
It was a
festival.
Budweiser.
It was a Budweiser.
Stadium.
Yeah,
and we had to fly back home to film
to film
the Budweiser
commercial.
No, the Swiss malt liquor
Commercial.
commercial the next day.
Wow.
And on top of that, our parents had already left to move to South Carolina.
We were exhausted.
We were done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be able to perform, to share the same stage with
with
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Amazing.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So I would have to say it was the entire Kool in the Gang SKYY show.
That too.
Tour.
Sure. Okay.
That
13
was,
months.
to me,
Wow.
the highlight. I don't think two groups ever blended and got along so well. We have stories, left and right and around the corner. Positive stories, because those gentlemen, they were quintessential gentlemen. First of all, we just loved JT. We loved Kool. They loved us. Like in the beginning, everybody wasn't quite sure, what this was going to be, because there's a lot of competition sometimes among groups. But we fit in so well. And for a year, 13 months, we toured with them. We had the same lighting company, the same sound company. So it was just this one giant traveling troupe of people.
That's right.
Sole
and I
job.
missed the first 3 months.
Right.
Okay.
The sole job was to go to the next city and put on probably one of the largest grossing shows of its time in 1982.
Nice.
Culminated at Radio City.
Okay.
Where our Call Me took over the #1 spot on Billboard over Kool in the Gang's over the other one.
But wait, was that the combination? Because remember when y'all did
It was at Radio City was where we got the gold record.
Right, but I
and
wasn't on stage at Radio City.
Oh no, you weren't.
Right, I did the rest of the tour with y'all after that.
Correct.
Nissa was born in March, and y'all did that.
We just kept right on
later, but the rest of the
City.
Getting number one.
And going to radio.
That's right. And doing Radio City music.
And y'all was sticking it to Kool and the Gang too. You know you like that.
You know what? Listen, let me tell you.
Let me tell you.
We just was happy to, man. You know what it is to like move them out of number one spot, number one. But number two, there was no competition.
Right. They was happy for you.
Of us doing, there was one show, I think it was the Chicago show where JT got sick. Because that singing, it was just a grind. Yeah. It was a grind.
He got laryngitis.
He got laryngitis. And they asked us to do an extra half an hour on the show to cover for them, right? Then we had a little problem with a promoter in a city. South Carolina. Barney remembers it well. Charleston. See? Yeah, Barney. That's why we keep her around. Her memory's better than mine. And the promoter was trying to come after our equipment, like they had a lien on us because we didn't do a show because they breached the contract, basically. And people out there in music land, they know about this. You get to a gig, things aren't right. We say we out because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Then the guy wanted to try to sue us. Kool and the Gang was on top of everything, took our equipment and our outfits and everything off the stage. We used their equipment on stage. And so the marshal was there on the side. Who does that belong to? Kool and the Gang. Who does that belong to? Kool and the Gang.
Wow.
Who does that belong to? Kool and the Gang. So, you know what I mean? But we woke up one time on the tour bus.
We had Kool and
the Gang's roadies was in our bus. Because it had broken down on the road.
Okay.
So that's just, you know what I'm saying, from the A to Z. That's how thrilling and exciting that time period was from my perspective.
Got you. Dolores.
Dolores has one too. Quincy Jones.
Yeah, when we did that Dallas, it's the same year when we did the Dallas
Same year,
Fest. Quincy Jones stood on side stage through our whole show.
Mm.
And I was like,
Is that Quincy Jones?
Quincy Jones.
and then when I came off stage, he said, "You did good." And I was like, huh? Inside my program, I was like taken aback. That and when we pulled up in the limousine to the Apollo Theater, when we did the Apollo with Jermaine Jackson, I was like,
I could imagine.
Yeah.
So I think
seeing Quincy Jones and Aretha Franklin and Patty Austin and being on that show, that was one of the biggest shows that we have ever done. And singing on the bus with Sister Sledge.
And OJs.
And the OJs and
Natalie Cole.
And Eddie LaVoe.
Wow.
I absolutely loved my mother's biscuits. And whenever we were in Carolinas with them, my mother and father would always bring him biscuits. And he was like, you got your mama's biscuits? He's like, yes. And we
Nice. That's beautiful, man. Great memories.
Everybody that we've ever toured with, even people who were bigger than us, so to speak, they always embraced us and they always made us feel like we were part of the family.
Nice.
Because we were the new kids on the block.
Got you. That's nice. That's a hell of a journey. But you know what? The journey continues, ladies.
Yes.
The journey continues. Now, what I'm gonna do right now, as I said, we started talking. And my intentions was to play a little music, but I want to let the people know who you are musically as well, right? So I picked this song, and I was telling Denise the other day that I love this song, When You Touch Me. Now, Dolores did my God. That's all I can tell you. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear it, because I want to make sure that it comes through.
Okay.
I'm playing it now.
All
right. Here we go. The Ladies of Sky, led by Dolores. This is such a beautiful record. R&B at its very best. You thought they just did funk and disco? No. They do it all. The Ladies of Sky. Sit back, relax. Let's boogie on a one-on-one. Here we go.
Trying to take my love away. what you do from the start. When you touch me, Your love is so real and it's so good. Love me tonight, 'cause the time is right. I want you to love me more.
Okay, you have it, ladies.
Touch me.
Beautiful song, beautiful song. Love it. Dolores, let me ask you about that song. You did a fantastic job. I was, I grabbed my wife the other night when I put that. Oh, this is a family show. I'm sorry, it's a family.
I grabbed my wife. You grab your wife. You can grab your wife whenever you feel like it.
Yeah, that was. We got said. Yeah, it was a beautiful song, though. Beautiful song. The voice. I mean, it's just a beautiful. Where did that song? How did that song originate? Who wrote it? Where did it come from? And how did you decide to do that one?
Well, they decided for me. Solomon Roberts wrote that song, and it was because this is before when I was doing most of the ballads, and Solomon and I had done a couple of duet ballads together when this song first. I mean, before this song came out, and so when they wrote this, I was like in super duper glory. I was 3 months pregnant with my daughter Nissa. Nobody knew but me and her dad, and so just being in the studio singing this song gave me a lot of emotion and inspiration to get it done. Although they had me and they were prodding me in my ear back and forth.
They were horrible.
They had me done and
horrible.
But it gave me a lot of emotion to put into it because of what I was feeling at that time.
Oh, nice, very nice, very nice. What year was that? What year did the song come out?
It came out in '82, but we recorded it in '81 because my daughter was born March 1982, and Call Me album had already shipped, and that's the first part of the tour that I missed. So we recorded this in '81. I had her March '82, and by that time, the song was just like all over the place.
Nice.
Well, the album itself was all over the place, basically.
What was the name of the album that this was on?
That was the Skyline.
Skyline. Okay. I think I had that album. Yeah. I was doing a lot of sky zooing on Saturday morning.
Sky zooing.
Yeah, I was doing that. In the house up in the project. Oh, yeah.
You don't have yours? What are you talking about?
Austin forgot to mail it to me. Sorry about that, brother.